Some good findings, and overall I'm pretty excited once again. Apparently the previous update, it wasn't really Space Engineer's fault, although partly it was, partly it also was my own fault. Whoa! It is shooting me. As I noticed when I was trying it out, apparently blocks did not properly update according to what they previously were. In specific, the pistons, they were broken. It was all the pistons and no rotors were involved this time as the culprit. Yet this gave this whole bug of the flying legs and weird glitches, which is now all better. It's fixed. And that required me to remove all pistons and put back some new ones. Which I did, of course. And so we now see, instead of a walker, well, exploding, bit tripping. This shouldn't be happening. Of course, when I want to show it, it takes a knee and says like, I am no use for you. Let's try this another time. And of course it tracks me because I'm in an airspeeder. Whoa! Luckily for me, damage is disabled, so I can just fly along and pretend nothing has happened and let the thing itself bend over. Haha. Although, with the whole landing gears are locked in place, that thing, it's harder to pull over, but we see here it finally takes it by my walker. You have lost. Whoa! Take it easy. Alright. So let's remove this one and see from the start how it should look instead of how it was looking. Let's see. AT-AT number 4.3. 1.4.3. A lot of versions went into this one, and I'm happy it's back up and running. So what I first always do is make sure there's a station level to the ground, and then I just dropped off a little bit above the ground. There we go. Alright, and then it will lock itself into place as such, stabilizing. And then we can get in or through the face, or let's take a look around first in the interior of this one, as it is a lot more spacious as the last version we had a couple of years back actually. I remember being in Norway, fiddling around with Space Engineers and finding a solution to rotors and how a walker should work. And it was still before planets, before timers, and it was just you mashing a button and reversing the legs, which kind of is what it is doing now, but it's a bit more complex, I guess, as I explained in the last video. So let's get to the cockpit. Well, we have this, we notice a bit of a dip in frame, what is it called? Simulation speed, but that's alright. Alright, so you get into the right cockpit, in which we have, of course, our regular firearms, our head that can move around a bit, and there's 3 rotor systems to turn it, one in the neck, one in the head and one in the shoulders, I guess you could say. Heavy laser cannons, aka big ass rockets. Also a rocket pod underneath, and 2 Gatling turrets on the ears. So we have our earmuffs ready and able. Alright, so what you usually want to do is make sure your landing gears are all set on auto lock, which they are at the moment. Let's see if I can get into spectator mode, so with a bit better solution. I noticed though that they defixed again that when you rotate while you have a block in hand, you still change your speed. So if you change your block, you also change your speed again. So that's probably fixed in the next week, but just saying, Keen, you defixed something you fixed. Right. So what you have here is, back here is the speeder compartment where you can put your air speeders made available one scheme thinks of microblocks. That's for another game, I guess. Control station, one of the programmable blocks, making sure that, well, only naming of the ship is done. Like blocks are named 1 to 100 through this, even when you have multiple grids. That made it a lot easier for me to start working on the legs instead of having to rename them manually. And here we see the data banks in which the data is stored so that your legs are actually functional. That's said, and then a lot of gyroscopes to keep the body stable. You don't want it wanking around too much, so just make sure it's heavy and on its place. Perhaps it's even better to turn them off, but I'm not sure about that. Until now it is working as expected. New seats, also very nice addition to the game. They're a bit, for me, a bit too futuristic, too spacey, I guess. Like it doesn't fit in, doesn't blend well with the surroundings, which are all blocky and square, and then we have these rounded, glossy, I don't know what they are, rubber seats, maybe? Anyways, going up to the neck, we see that we get out, third person, if I can get the camera there, can I get it there? Unlike the last build, you don't have to duck anymore. It's a 3x4 interior with, of course, a bit of gaps because, well, we don't have rubberized blocks yet. And then we have this command station where General Veers was standing, and then 2 control seats for the pilots, on which this is the gunner and that is the operator, which will set us back here in this menu screen. So, start walking, press 9 to disable, so enable the timers, and it will start automatically. If it doesn't start, just press 1 and it will initiate the whole primary block section. So, first leg away. And then it unlocks the last leg, pulls it up, pushes it forward, and off we go. Our walker is walking. And that's what I wanted to say for the update for the ATST, guys. I hope you now can all function your own, set up some nice scenarios. I love to see your hot bases and whatnot. See how it works in Space Engineers nowadays. It's good to have it back. I was so sad last time and perhaps a bit too salty in my video. I hope you can accept my apologies for that. This is my favorite creation as of yet, at least my land creation. So let's get it a bit of space and see what I was working on right about now. Which is, well, of course, another Star Wars build. Well, not of course. Star Citizen is back on radar again. I just saw the new Caterpillar and I'm thinking like, well, that's one of the ships I did a long way back. Let's do it again and do it better, because, well, it's added 40 meters or something, considering the last specs. But, of course, here we have the Ghost. At least the work in progress of Hera Syndulla's, Kanan Jarrus, the Star Wars Rebels Ghost, which we also saw in the trailer for Rogue One, so that was exciting. I've seen the film, so that was also a good one. I will not say anything else. It's for months up ahead when we get to building the Death Star, for example, or stealing its plans at least. Perhaps tentative 4 or 7, or what number did it have? When it gets an update, or when we get back to that one again, we'll see about fixing those issues. So, here we are in the main cockpit. which of course through Space Engineer's logic we cannot reach from the inside. We can try though. Yeah, if you peek through here and press F, there we go. Right, the ghost. You see, instead of going for a alternative shape, I went for a weird pattern with the whole assembly of the hull. So instead of keeping it smooth and trying to figure out how a 2x1 and 1x1 goes in, I decided that the best way to deal with it is to slope them and then add layers, which we see here. So these layers give this impression that it is this diamond shape, and of course it isn't smooth, it isn't like what you expect, but I think this is the closest approximation without the use of any pistons and rotors, which I was trying first and failed miserably at, because of course they sprung loose, fell apart and dissolved into black holes. Yeah, I like this one very much, and I'm really keen on getting back to this one, fixing it up. And now with mech boots inside of small ships, we don't need gravity generators anymore, which makes me very happy for the future of small ships. And also of course the lights. We have a new set of lights, which I didn't intend to last time. So if we go for light, we see corner light, double corner light, interior light, and interior light now it works for small ships. No, what is this? Changes for the good. Keen, thank you for this update, and thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least this kind of stream, although it's more or less my easiest way to get this content out to you guys. Apart from my regular content, in which I do some editing and whatnot, but I'll try just to push this out and make sure you are all up to date. Until next time, I was Blinky. Till then.